The other thing that could really reset it is if Giannis, when it comes time, stays with the Bucks and doesn't go out west.
I don't know that Giannis will go out west.
I'm guessing he's going to stay with the Bucks is my best guess. And they might do that this season. Give him, his extension to keep him.
Yeah, I mean, I could also see him going to another team in the East. I don't necessarily see him just because he decides to leaving the East.
That's a good point.
Like, I could see him going to another team because everybody's going to want him. But I could see him going to another team where he can have a little bit better of a market and maybe a better chance of actually having a team built around him.
Yeah, so if he stays in the East, I guess is a better... It doesn't necessarily have to stay with the Bucks. But if he stays in the East and Anthony Davis gets traded to a team in the East is going to be a lot more attractive, and the West stranglehold is going to end.
Who is the first pick this year?
First pick is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, duh. That was sorry about Anthony Davis.
Which, again, fucking bullshit. The only reason the Pelicans have the first pick is because the Knicks were like, oh, maybe we'll send the first pick to the Pelicans to try and get Anthony Davis. And the NBA was like, Pelicans with the first pick. Not a bad idea. Pelicans. That's what it is. They're trying to keep Anthony Davis in New Orleans. The NBA needs to just keep their fucking hands out of...
It's as bad as that movie trailer I just watched.
Yeah, it was bad. For Crawl,
yeah.
Awful. But like...
Just put it on DVD. Nobody's going to see it in the theater.
We don't want Chris Paul going to the Lakers. So we're going to say no, can't do that trade. Which is fucking stupid. The only reason I accept that it happened is because at the time, the fucking Pelicans, which were the Hornets, were owned by the league. And so the league's like, no, we're not doing that trade. But...
Yeah, but first off, you should never be in a situation where the league needs to own a fucking team. What kind of league is this? What kind of patty cake bullshit are you trying to pull here?
I don't know. But...
You couldn't get some rich asshole to buy that?
I mean, they eventually did. They got the Bensons.
Yeah, but really? Like, you're shopping at all the rich dudes in the world and they're like, nah, I don't want that garbage.
No. I mean, at least it's not like the AFL, the Arena Football League, which is fun to watch. I enjoy watching it. But the fact that two owners own all 6 teams, that's a bit weird.
Whatever.
That's a bit weird.
Maybe they have a beef and this is how they want to settle it.
That's a good point. Guys, we are running over time. One last thing I want to bring up before we close out our show. New York State officially allowing gambling on sports in casinos.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's only in casinos, and there are only 6 casinos in the entire state that are going to get the ability to do this. Which is fucking stupid.
Whatever. One of them's 30 minutes from me.
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes from me.
Rivers Casino is going to be one of them, yes.
I mean, that being said, if I take the highway, I guess it would be like 15.
20, yeah.
It's not that far.
No. But it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, we would all be much happier if we were gambling. We'd all be much happier if we could just do it right from our phones.
It's happening anyway, and you can do it in almost every other state. Well, I don't understand what your hang-up is with this unless you don't think that you can figure it out. Ask other fucking states. Like,
it's... At first, I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about state.
Talking about state. It's super easy. Just be like, hey, it's going to take us a while to figure this out. Can you open up your New Jersey state shit to New York State residents? You can collect the money while we figure this out.
You know who you could go to is dudes you had to strike a deal with. Go to FanDuel. They've perfected that shit in the state of Jersey.
Yeah.
They own like the Jersey mobile market out there.
Let Rivers Casino, what's the Resorts World, let them create their own apps that will allow them to do the in-game betting.
Or let them get into contracts with teams like FanDuel or DraftKings who already have the structure in place to do this. Just let them enter those contracts, and then you can literally hold the company that's doing those liable if something goes wrong.
And it's super easy if you're concerned about people, wasting all of their money.
Nice pass, Draymond. That's why you're here for defense.
Mm-hmm. If you're worried about people wasting all their money through the mobile, the most you can do is $100 bet. Make it that. People still get to do their betting. It's not going to kill them.
It can be linked to your account. I understand the dangers of doing something like that, but ATMs fucking exist, okay? Like, banks exist.
I can go to the casino and put $500 on black.
Yeah, like, I'm more of a person that's going to, like, gamble on, like, the outcomes of games and try and parlay them. I'm not like some people that I've seen, like, they'll run to the window and be like, this game ended a tie, boop. And because they've been sitting there for 4.5 hours, you've gone through 3 different dishes at the restaurant that's at here.
The buffet.
No, they actually have, like, menus and stuff. It's actually crazy. DraftKings has the nicest sports betting facility I have ever seen at the Resorts Casino in Atlantic City. It's fantastic. It's amazing. They have, like, stadium tiered seating, but it's all leather personal chairs with cup holders, massive television screen with every game you could possibly imagine. Like, cricket was going on for some reason, and for the love of me, I don't know why.
I don't know, but
you could bet on it too.
The first Saturday of college football, can we all meet up at fucking Rivers and just hang out there all day?
Sure. Absolutely.
Gamble on some fucking football.
Yeah, because I'll do $5. From what I understand, they're going to have the kiosks, so I'll do $5 parlays all day long.
That's what I just want them to allow me to put 20, 25, $50 in the app, and like, what team's going to throw the first interception? Boom.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could do that even at the casino, but I mean. What I like to do is, like, you could literally, like, let's say that I like 13 games. And it's crazy to get all 13 games right in the spread on any given Saturday. But you could literally bet 13 games. Depending on which ones you pick out, you could bet $2 and you could cash out for $1,200.
Yeah.
For $2. I mean, you have to get 13 games right.
Have you guys seen Kyle Lowry's start to this game?
I haven't been paying attention to his start necessarily. But
he scored all 11 points for the Raptors.
He scored all 11?
Yeah, he's 4 for 4.
Shit.
Well, Draymond Green needs to go back to kicking dicks because he can't pass.
No. That's all he's good for is kicking dicks.
Look, great. You have to rely on the grandfather of your team to score. This isn't a good look.
No, it's not. But New York State, you're going in the right direction. It's taking way too long for this to be a thing. Just like it took you way too fucking long to allow MMA in New York. Mm-hmm. Get your heads out of your asses. Start offering mobile betting and reap the benefits that New Jersey is. Because you're missing out on a lot of money.
Big market.
And this is nowhere near as difficult as the logistics of legalizing things like prostitution, which is next on the docket.
Yeah, and they talk about marijuana. Well, meanwhile, Colorado is about to hit a record $10 billion in tax revenue from...
Hell, Denver just legalized shrooms. We're way behind on that.
I don't know that that'll ever happen in New York.
I don't think it should happen very many places.
Listen, I mean, if you want...
the benefits are apparently really good.
If you want
are touting them for PTSD, for veterans.
I like mushrooms, just not the hallucinogenic ones.
Yeah, because you're hallucinating. I mean, there's also people who have bad experiences on them.
That are being touted.
Yeah, well... It was a matter of time before people realized what the CIA was doing with Project Ultra.
Oh my god, yes. This is fucking ridiculous. There were so many others, too.
Oh, yeah, no, they were playing around. I still to this day believe that they were just trying to figure out if they could get drugs to trigger certain parts of the brain so that they could create...
Super spies.
Just people who had super inabilities in one particular area. Be like, we found the drug that affects that.
Like,
and then they're like, we don't know what's going on. It messes all people up differently. Let's just scrap it.
sorry for the spoiler, but it's been 2 fucking years. In season 1 of Stranger Things, they are talking about the things that were done on 11 and the rest, and mention MK Ultra. No, that's not what MK Ultra was doing. That's Project Montauk.
Right,
Project
now we're
Montauk.
becoming a conspiracy podcast.
Hysteria 51. Fucking listen. Hysteria 51.
Yes, they specialize in that.
It's so good. But anyways, what were we even talking about before mushrooms?
Basketball.
We're talking about betting.
Betting.
Yeah.
New York, get on top of it.
Yeah.
Get it together. Yeah, you got enough on your plate. Handle one dish at a time.
And that dish should be gambling, because fuck prostitution. We don't need that
because
shit.
you've already
right
allowed it. So go with what you've already done.
now. Right.
Finish something first before you start another project.
All right, guys. We are at the end, but we're going to end like we always do with our This Week in Sports History. And fucking A, I think the Raptors are doing my fucking only shoot threes bullshit, because they're 5 of 6 from 3.
Seriously.
And now the Warriors are 0 for 2. But anyways, This Week in Sports History, as always, I found my information on onthisday.com. In 1947, actually this date, 1947, which would be June 13th, the first night game at Fenway Park is played. Red Sox win 5-3 over
What
the
year?
Chicago White Sox. 1947.
That's crazy to me that it took them almost 40 years to play a night game.
Yeah.
Because the park was established in 1908.
Yeah. Most places didn't put lights in until the 30s.
Yeah. I mean, it's the oldest park in America, but that makes sense because it's the only one that's been standing since 1908.
Traditionally, baseball is the afternoon game, though. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of games are played in the afternoon, or they could do early evenings where the sun's setting. And it's played in summer, so sun sets at like fucking 9 in August. So you could get away with playing a game at like 4. And back then, it's not like you had commercial breaks or anything. They were just like, 7th inning stretch means you guys can go grab a hot dog and a beer and get back out there.
It's a good point. But
Usually
also,
the Cubs games are still in the afternoon when they're at home.
yeah.
Most of the time, unless they're like Sunday Night Baseball featured or something like that.
Also, just electricity wasn't widely used when Fenway was.
Well, no, yeah, duh. I mean, hell, they got so tired of putting in seats, they're like, you know what? This section, we're just putting a fucking wall.
Yeah.
I'm not putting in any more goddamn seats.
Oh man, that's a good point. So yeah, 1947, first night game in Fenway.
What about these seats here in the center field? Should we use them? Put a tarp over them. I'm not bolting them down.
Not pulling them down. One last thing I want to end on that I've observed. Have you guys seen these Men in Black commercials that they've been showing?
Yeah.
Where these NBA players are aliens, and one was Anthony Davis had an arm that he swatted something down with. It was like a tentacle. Russell Westbrook was changing his clothes without doing all that.
Yep.
What if these are dual commercials for Men in Black, but the people who created Men in Black are doing the new Space Jam, and they're hinting Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and the other ones that are doing these commercials are going to be the Monstars in Space Jam? Conspiracy theory.
Maybe, but it doesn't seem like... I don't know, because there only seems to be 3 players that are doing these commercials, so maybe that's the problem. They can't find 2 others that want to do it.
Because fuck LeBron. And thank you all for listening.
Good way to end.
Yep, good way to end. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at Dan D'Antoni Sports. I'm sorry, no, we are just at Dan D'Antoni on Twitter. On Facebook, we are Dan D'Antoni Sports. If you want to send us an email, which I have no idea why you would.
But you could.
But you could. We are dandantonisports at gmail.com. If you want to listen to us on demand, you can always find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spreaker. You can find us on iHeartRadio. We're trying to get onto a few others. But for whatever reason, it says it takes a week, and it's taken like a month and a half.
Just